Alright guys, welcome back to Xenogears. We are now on part 6 of the game. I've tried lowering the quality of the stream. Hopefully that will improve the latency issues that we've been having. Alright, why isn't it... whatever. Alright. So into the little mysterious little cave we go. And we meet a crazy old man. Who knows way too much about gears. "10,000 years in the past" is an important plot point. Remember it for later. Sounds suspiciously familiar. So here is our first actual gear shop. And most shops are combo gear shop and item shops. And now we can get into the way that the gear mechanics actually work. So gears have two main parts. You have weapons and parts. The parts, well, the weapons, obviously, different characters have different weapons. Parts are shared between all gears and do different things, obviously. So let's go ahead and buy 3 of those so we can replace all our normal extra armors. And then under the tune-up menu, you have engine, frame, and armor. So the engine, all gears use the same engines. Or the engines are universal between the different gears. They determine the total amount of fuel the gear has, as well as attack power. So we want to go ahead and upgrade Weltall's engine. I believe Brigadier already has that particular engine. Nope. Okay, we're upgrading that as well. Frames, on the other hand, are unique to the gear. The frame determines how much HP the gear has. In this case, Brigadier has a 1900 HP frame, so we're going to go ahead and give him a upgraded 2700. You automatically sell the old frame when you buy a new one, so you don't have to worry about messing with that. Oh, and spoiler alert, we're getting a gear named Heimdall at some point. Then armor. Armor is also universal. It gives a basic value to the armor. In this case, it's basically 10 times the value number. Different armors in the game give different values. Some give ether defense in addition to just normal armor, or normal physical defense. We're going to go ahead and upgrade phase armor, and I think we're out of money, actually, so... yeah. Then the last thing is fuel. You can restore all HP and fuel to the gear for a nominal fee. It's not really all that much. But it's basically like staying at an inn for your gears. But each individual gear has to do its own. Now let's go ahead and equip those extra armors that we just purchased. Now you can sell the phase or the old circuit, but you really don't want to because there's only like 2 or 3 of them in the entire game, and they're pretty useful actually. I'm not entirely sure what response does. I believe it has to do with evasion. But later on, when you get better parts, you can go ahead and sell the old circuit, but you want to keep it for the most part. Alright, actually, we need to go talk to him again real quick so we can sell off the extra parts that we have. Come on, game. Oh, there we go. Now, gear parts and character parts are kept in 2 separate stores. You cannot sell gear parts at a character store, and vice versa. Also, gear parts are not even stored in the normal item menu. You can only do it in the gear menu. Yeah, we're going to sell the AC part because the extra agility parts are so specific they are not worth it. And we can sell his old whip. And then we want to tune up his armor, so now that we have money. Alright, so now that we have upgraded Weltall and Brigadier, we can go ahead and get to the sand sensors. Now we already passed one of the sand sensors on our way here, but we're going to actually go to the farther one first, because that one takes forever to get to, and we can get the first one on the way back. Because the farther away one was that one that we saw in the initial room, but in order to get there, we have to take a long way around. Alright, so let's just save all of our upgrades. should be this way. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it quite fixed the problem with the lag. And of course, the dynamic camera angle is not helping things. Get used to this corridor because you'll be seeing it for quite a long time. I don't know why they decided to make this corridor so freaking long. Okay, so that just reduced, that's basically a blanket accuracy evade reducer, so that's fine, because death blows never miss. And there are items that protect you from getting the accuracy evasion down, which is referred to as camera damage. Bart's actually equipped with one. Thankfully, most status ailments only last until the end of the fight. Though you have to be careful, if a character in gear form ever falls, they will not, or you cannot revive them. So, which is really bad because you don't even get any gear healing abilities until very late in the game. So you need to manage your gear's health very well. And the gear healing effects that you do get are incredibly expensive in terms of fuel. Because they're all fuel-based abilities. Alright, so up here is the second sand sensor. Alright, so one of the sand sensors has been disengaged. Yay! Now let's go ahead and get to the second one. By taking the shorter corridor instead of the longer corridor. And get into a fight right as we hit the exit to the area. Unfortunately, unlike Citan, Faye and Bart are incredibly slow. And also, unlike in character mode, you can't start off fights with gear, or you can't start off gear fights with death blows ready. You only have character attacks ready. I mean, single attacks, because you have to build up your attack level to be able to actually do death blows. Generally speaking, though, as long as you keep your gear, stats, and equipment up to date, most enemies are really not going to be able to do that much lasting damage to you. The only really difficult fights are... There's one really late in the game on Disc 2 that is the bane of existence, or that is basically the bane of this game, because it's a back-to-back gear battle with no time to recharge, with two very difficult bosses, but I'll explain more about that when we get there. And actually, the boss fight at the end of this encounter is another wake-up call. It's actually a bit difficult, but as long as you know what to do and you fight smart, you can still beat it without too much difficulty. Okay. Well, Faye has learned another death blow, so now he has his first level 2 gear death blow, which is actually going to be very useful in the coming boss fight. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go straight. And to the right. And this is why we jumped off back in the first area, because otherwise we'd have to go through like 3 more screens to get back to this point. Now, the Medusaroids only have about 100 HP, so it only takes 2 weak attacks to actually kill them. The other thing is, the Medusaroids do not... or the Medusaroids and the Tin Men do not actually attack character level model or characters if there is a gear out. So what you can do is... at this point, since we're now going to clear out both of the sensors, you can actually spend the time to get Faye and Bart all of the necessary death blow experience to learn up through their level 6 death blows, and also take the time to get them up to level 22. I'm not actually going to do that, even though this is the best time to do that, just because it's going to be a long time to do that. And you get an item later on in the game that makes learning death blows a lot faster. Also, this is the only time in the game that you actually come through this area, so make sure you get everything you want when you get the chance to. Actually, let's see how well Faye is along in learning his next set of death blows. Not enough for them to actually show up. Yeah, Bart's only spell right now is the Wild Smile ability, which is the camera damage, which is actually going to be very useful in the coming boss fight. But first, we have to go talk to Old Man Ball again, let him know that we released sand sensors. Remember that word, Omnigear. It'll come into play later. The crazy old man who knows way too much about gears is freaking out over phase gear. I wonder why. And now he's calling it the Slayer of God. Alright. So we'll go ahead and get into a fight, and then we'll save. Now that the gate has been opened, new enemies will start appearing, and these enemies will actually attack character size participants, so you have to be careful about that in case you decide to try and grind experience. But they're still all fairly weak and easy to kill. I am on the memory queue. Why aren't you loading up the save menu? Okay, apparently it thinks I'm not on the memory queue for some reason. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and split the video off here. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.